Some have called him just a bit insane. You may find him a little idiotic, but this is the only morning show you can say is really got it. Slam the door to let you get on the road now. We Central Illinois, morning way to get down. It's nasty, it's dirty, but it's party, 'cause it's the Reagan Lido's morning disaster. It's Rudy's crew, but it doesn't matter, 'cause he's the morning master. Rock and roll and laughter. Raymond Lido's morning disaster. Ronnie Rector got the sports. Bodine's running down North Grand in his undershorts. They will dwell on things colored pink and purple. They'll explain why Jim has a farm of gerbils. Slam the door, turn the key, get on the road now. It's Central Illinois, more the way to get down. It's nasty, it's dirty, it's funny, 'cause it's the Reagan Lido's morning disaster. It's Rudy's crew, but it doesn't matter, 'cause he's the morning master. Rock and roll and laughter. Raymond Lido's morning disaster.
Once again, it's time to journey back to those thrilling days of yesteryear for another exciting adventure with the Hump Ranger.
Previously on Hump Ranger.
Pronto, I have finally figured out a way to catch Captain Suspendus.
Hello and welcome to Wong's Chinese Restaurant.
Oh no, that gigantic mass is going to fall right on top of me.
Hold on, citizen, I've got you.
Have you seen Captain Suspendus anywhere around here?
Today's top story, in spite of the new collaboration between the city's police and the superhero Captain Stupendous, the crime wave continues. In the last week, 3 truckloads of merchandise have been stolen from the docks. First, there was a truckload of fortune cookies. Then, the next day, a truckload of wontons were taken. And then yesterday, a truckload of chopsticks were stolen.
Boy, Chief sure is angry. We have to find Hump Ranger. Last 3 days been filled with crime between hours of noon and 1. Here at 12:30, and Hump Ranger nowhere to be found. Where could Chemo Slobby be? Oh, my phone ring. Hello. Hump Ranger, where you are. I need to see you quick. Stay put, Hump Ranger. Me be right there.
Hello and welcome to Wong's Chinese Restaurant. I'm Wong Hu. Oh, hello, Hump Ranger's friend. You are probably looking for Hump Ranger. He at usual table in section C. My nephew Thang will take you to Hump Ranger table.
Hey, Pronto, there you are. It's about time you got here. Hey, Wong, who's your friend?
Oh, Hump Ranger, this is my nephew Thang.
Any friend of Wong's is a friend of mine. What's your name again?
My name is Thang Hu.
You're welcome. Now, what's your name?
Thang Hu.
You're welcome. What's your name?
My name is Thang Hu.
You don't have to thank me for asking your name. Just tell me what it is.
What is?
Your name.
Thang Hu.
You're welcome. Your name.
No, you're welcome. Not name. Name is Thang Hu.
Listen up, Jackie Chan. You got about a second to tell me your name, or I'm going to take one of these free dozen chopsticks that have been left on my table and stick one up your...
Chemo Slobby, me hate to interrupt, but me need to speak to you. It urgent.
Yeah, go ahead, Pronto. What's the dealio?
Hump Ranger, is this where you been every day this week between noon and 1?
It sure is, Pronto. My new buddy Wong has been giving me free lunch buffets every day. It is all I can eat at no charge. The other day, I bet I ate 25 fortune cookies, all free. And see all these chopsticks? I ain't paid for a single one of them.
Hump Ranger, something smell fishy.
Oh, that's the buffet, Pronto. It's seafood day.
Hump Ranger, Chief pretty angry. We not stopping crime.
All right, Pronto. I guess I could skip my third and fourth helpings today in order to go fight crimes. Besides, Wong gave me a case of wontons yesterday. I can eat those at home later. I got a plan anyway.
What plan, Hump Ranger?
Come on, I will tell you in the car.
Oh, no! Hump Ranger and the other cop are leaving. We must call the gang at the dock and tell them to hurry up with the latest crime before Hump Ranger find out.
You're right, Juan. We cannot have Hump Ranger find out you are actually the new crime boss in town.
Hump Ranger, we in car now. You tell me plan to stop Crime Wave.
It's easy, Pronto. We'll just drive around, and when we hear there is a crime taking place, I will signal my new buddy, Captain Suspendus. He will fly the both of us over the crime scene to make the bust.
But Hump Ranger, how you signal Captain Stu?
All units respond to the docks. There is a truckload of Hunan beef being stolen right now.
Pull over, Pronto.
Hump Ranger, why are you running into tall building?
Well, here I am at the top of the building. Time to signal Captain Suspendus by falling off this building and making him rescue me. Geronimo!
Why, it is my friend Hump Ranger, once again falling to his death. I better save him. I've got you, Hump. Ugh. Citizen Hump Ranger, you've gotten heavier since the last time I caught you. I don't know if I can hold you. Oh, whoa!
Thanks, Captain Suspendus, for absorbing all the impact for me in our landing. What's that, Captain Suspendus?
I can't feel my legs.
What will happen next? How will the Hump Ranger get out of this one? Tune in next time when you'll hear...
Wow, Captain Suspendus, I am sure sorry you're in that wheelchair.
Thank you for visiting me, Hump Ranger.
Hey, I bought you something.
What is it?
Some Hunan beef. My buddy Wong had a whole bunch of it, and he gave me a case for free.
On the adventures of the Hump Ranger.
Hey, kids, what time is it?
The alarm clock screams and there's a cat butt in my face. I don't want to get up, face the human race. I take a shower, I take a pee, I take some coffee and watch some TV. But nothing seems to keep my eyes open. Nothing seems to get my blood flowing. Called up a friend of mine and asked what lights a fire under your behind. He says he spells relief, R-A-Y-L-Y-T-L-E. Have no fear, the gang's all here, so clean out your ears for the morning disaster. They got gas and brass and testes and rock and roll piled up to the rafters. They're really immature and there's no cure, but they'll be your favorite broadcasters. And it's Ray Lytle's morning disaster. And it's Ray Lytle's morning disaster. I took my friend's advice to heart. I bought myself an FM radio. Now every weekday starts with a visit from the morning disaster show. And now I spell relief, R-A-Y-L-Y-T-L-E. Have no fear, the gang's all here, so clean out your ears for the morning disaster. They got gas and breast and testes and rock and roll piled up to the rafters. They're really immature, but there's no cure, but they'll be your favorite podcasters. And it's Ray Lytle's morning disaster. And it's Ray Lytle's morning disaster.
It's Ray Lytle's morning disaster. How you guys doing? I'm Ray, and welcome to the program. What's going on, people? Let's also welcome the one and only TJ, who is driving a truck as we speak. How you doing, TJ?
Good morning. How's it going?
I'm doing well. My friend Nick will also be joining us today. Well. I see Steve is in the chat room bragging about how he's lost 50 pounds. He's bragging how he's lost 50 pounds in 45 days. He's still sexless, though. Thanks, Steve. Sorry you're still sexless. However, you lost weight. You should feel happy about that. I mean, that's something to be happy about, right?
That's a rapid weight loss in a short time.
Well, maybe he's who knows? Maybe he's I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's eating a lot of eggs or eating a lot of protein or something. I don't know what's going on. Good for you, Steve. All I know is that I feel like I'm gaining. I really do. I just feel like I'm gaining, TJ. Even though I just ate a hard-boiled egg and I have a half-eaten banana, but
yeah,
I'm stuffed. I just feel stuffed. Yeah, he says it's the medication making him less hungry. Oh, well. Sorry to hear that, Steve. I'm glad you're losing weight. I mean, good for you. You know what I mean? I'm glad you're feeling good. TJ, immediately you go to something bad.
I just look at all angles.
Well, no, you look at one angle. You look at the depressing one. That's what you look at.
Oh, now wait a minute. Who's the one that's usually depressing?
Not me. I'm always chipper. I'm always a bundle of fucking happiness is what I am. I'm a bundle of happiness. That's what I'm, a bundle of joy. Fat 420 says, for supper. He still uses the word supper, huh? Does anyone use the word supper?
Once in a blue moon.
Other than Fat 420? He says he's making bacon-wrapped boneless chicken breast with green beans. That actually sounds good.
Yeah.
It's a heavy protein meal. I like that, right?
Cooking that on the grill, too?
Yeah. Yeah, is that cooked on the grill? Are you cooking bacon on the grill?
You can.
Yeah. Good for you, Fat 420.
Wrap that chicken up, put it on the grill, add a little bit of
Cindy says she still uses supper. Supper and dinner are the same thing, right?
Yes.
You could just, they're not different meals. The supper and dinner, same thing.
I bet Nick does not use the word supper.
No,
I don't, because I've had the Pfizer vaccine.
You say supper's a Johnson & Johnson word?
It's close to Moderna.
A Moderna word? When I was a kid, I used supper. Living in Gillespie, we used supper. Now, as an adult, I don't think I've ever used the word supper.
Dinner. It's dinner time.
I use dinner, yeah. Yeah, and Cindy had Pfizer, Nick. How dare you imply that she didn't? And she's awesome, by the way. She just likes to use the word supper, which then has Nick judge her.
That's all right. Some people say supposedly too, so I guess that's all right.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't understand putting a B in the word. There's no B in supposedly.
Some people say crick.
Yeah, there's no I in creek.
Some people say wash.
Yeah.
Wash.
Ugh.
Some people can't pronounce the word wash or the word supposedly correctly, but they want me to trust them and who I should vote for president. All right. That makes a lot of sense. I'm sorry, but
I've never seen an R in wash. Oh, I hate that.
but yet I'm supposed to take their word for who I should vote for president. In 2024, by the way, it's literally 2021, and people are already trying to get me to switch my vote for 2024. I mean, come on. Are you serious? This is going on?
In the new age, I guess it's not too early to start campaigning.
No, it is. It is too early. It's way too early. It's 3 years away. In fact,
if Nick was to run for president?
It's over 3 years away. It's 3 years in November. Ridiculous. Steve says he's making chorizo and egg, mushroom, cheese, and onions casserole for dinner. That sounds like some heavy protein right there. Yeah. That sounds like a good one. Way to go, Steve. Way to go. So did you guys see the new Venom trailer?
No.
They somehow, during the pandemic, I guess. Wouldn't you say, Nick? It looks like they filmed it during the pandemic.
Who did what? I'm sorry, I missed it.
The new Venom trailer came out.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I was just wondering, when the hell did they film it? I don't know if they filmed it during the pandemic or before the pandemic or what, but the new trailer for Venom came out yesterday. Did you like the first one?
Honestly, I haven't seen the first one.
Yeah.
Me either.
Yeah.
I've seen kind of like bits and pieces, but I haven't watched it all the way through.
I got to tell you, it was probably, and I'm a huge, you know me, I'm a big comic book nerd.
No.
I am a huge comic book geek. Yeah, I know this comes as a shock.
Wow.
I love comic book movies, comic book TV shows. I love all that stuff. But the movie that I'm least excited about has always been this Venom movie. You know what I mean?
Well, isn't Venom supposed to be a bad guy?
Yeah, Venom was a bad guy.
And then he eventually became kind of like a vigilante, the anti-hero.
Yeah. He eventually became popular enough to where they turned him into somewhat of a hero. And then at one point, I think he even joins the Guardians of the Galaxy. And
yeah, my problem was that whole symbiote story just got way out of hand.
In the 80s, in the late 80s, Spider-Man had this alien come here and attach himself, or no, he got it when
it was during Secret Wars.
Yeah, it was when he went to Secret Wars.
His suit got destroyed, and he found this thing where he thought it made him a new suit. It was an alien symbiote that bonded to him.
But it was Venom. It was Venom. And so it turned out Spider-Man's suit was Venom. And he was a bad guy trying to kill Spider-Man. That's how he was invented in the comics. But eventually he disattached from Spider-Man. Well, the Fantastic Four disattached him
with the sonic gun.
Yeah, Mr. Fantastic figured out that it was sound. It was sound waves that would disattach. So he used that to disattach him, and it eventually attached to Eddie Brock, who was a photographer at the Daily Planet, who worked with Peter Parker.
Daily Bugle.
Or the Daily Bugle, yeah, sorry. And yeah, I was confusing the two. And Eddie Brock, who hates Peter Parker because they're both photographers,
Plus he got him fired too.
Yeah, and Peter got him fired by pointing out that he was rigging or faking a photo. And he gets Venom, and so he immediately learns that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and then he decides he's gonna kill him. So they were, for a while, Venom was his number one bad guy, and that was the origin of the character in the comics. And then in the movie, it's just Eddie Brock is a guy who's now he's a reporter, and he ends up with this symbiote attached to him, and he ends up saving the day in the movie. And he sort of went right from he skipped the whole bad guy part and went right to anti-hero in the movie. But the movie did really good. It wasn't my favorite comic movie, but the movie went really well, and they made a ton of money with it. And now there's a sequel coming out, and that's what the trailer hit yesterday was telling you what the sequel is, which is they're taking another Spider-Man story, Carnage, where Carnage was one of Spider-Man's biggest villains. He was a serial killer who had the Venom powers.
The Venom symbiote split off and attached to Cletus Cassidy, who became Carnage.
Who was
a guy named Cletus.
Yeah, but he was a serial killer who has the Venom powers, and he was one of the worst bad guys Spider-Man's ever had. But now they're doing it to where he's fighting Venom. So there you go. It looks like, anyway, that's what the sequel's about. Is it's going to be Venom fighting Carnage. So
Well,
there you go.
You remember when they did the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, those 3 movies? They kind of went into that backstory with Venom in those movies.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot Venom was in that. Yeah, he was in.
Yeah, they did that. Yeah, they did that whole thing terribly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Horrible. But they did it.
Yeah. Well, so there you go. That's what they're letting us know is coming in the Venom universe. So I don't know. Listen, the first one did make money, so we'll see. I'm sure it'll make some money. It's just, here's what I find interesting is they're putting these ads out there for movies, come to the theaters and watch them, and so I think we're actually getting closer to this pandemic ending. If enough people get their vaccinations and we if enough people get their vaccinations and we keep going positively like this, then there you go. We're heading in that direction. So I do find that good that they're advertising movies again. I find that really positive. I find that people, getting excited about movies again is nice. I find that, commercials on television that are promoting movies, I find that sort of nice and normal, and I'm sort of looking ahead going, God, what Marvel movie's coming out when, and, and I get excited about stuff. So it's pretty nice. We are getting somewhat back to normalcy. In fact, they're putting movies out to the theaters and they're putting them on streaming at the same time. And the movies at the theaters are still making a lot of money.
Well, that's good.
Like they put out that Mortal Kombat, they put that Mortal Kombat in theaters and they put it on HBO Max at the same time. It still made almost $100 million at the theaters, even though it was free on HBO Max. That's kind of cool, right? When you see something that is free and people going out to the theaters to watch it, I think that's a good sign. I mean, I don't know. I watched it. Unlike the Godzilla and Kong, I actually knew what was going on in the Mortal Kombat movie. So, I mean, that was kind of cool. It was nice knowing what was going on, which is a new thing as compared to Godzilla and Kong. So, you know, it was still good that the movie made money. I'm trying to find right now how much it actually made. I guess I got to check box office.
Probably.
Because it's literally been 2 years since I've checked, you know what I mean? Any box office stuff. But I just want to see what it ended up making. If I could find the actual. I can't find the actual. Oh, here we go. Box office mojo. Let's see if that'll tell me what it's made. It has made. I don't. Too much math. Can you just give me?
Too much math.
Yeah, they got all the different areas separated. Just tell me what the movie made. What do you got to separate everything for? Oh, for God's sakes!
It doesn't give you a subtotal.
I got to flip around, I guess, to find it. It's made. Yeah, I can't find where the overall of what it's made has been. All I know is it cost them $55 million to make the movie. Okay. That's what it cost them to make the movie. And the final take was 72 million. Or the take so far is 72,986,000.
So it's made its money back and then some.
Oh yeah, yeah. By the way, Godzilla versus Kong has made 422 million.
Holy crap!
718,000. Yeah, that's the movie. That's in the theater. That's just people going to the theater. It's made $422 million. That's not bad to make that much money. It's not bad to make that much money during a pandemic. You know what I mean?
No, it's not.
You would think a pandemic would damage your box office. No. Godzilla versus Kong still almost made $500 million.
Yeah, I need to make that kind of money.
I don't feel so sorry for the movie studios anymore. Yeah. I don't feel that sorry for them. Oh, well. Did you guys see something that I was joking about last week? Turns out it's true.
Which joke?
Okay. There was a show last week where I mentioned Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. Do you remember the context of it, Nick?
No.
I had said they're both single. Maybe this would be a chance for Ben Affleck to,
slide right in.
Hook up with his old fiance, right? I had said that last week. It turns out that the couple, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, were on vacation together in Montana. I'm not joking.
Hell is there to vacation? Well, Montana.
They went
Actually,
to
Montana is a big vacation spot for celebrities because it's so
nothing there.
It's so secluded.
Yeah, because who's gonna spot you? Because nobody ever accidentally sees someone in Montana. You know what I mean? If you're going to go somewhere just to hook up with somebody on a vacation, I guess Montana's a pretty good spot. That's where they were. They were in Montana. How crazy. There's a resort there that they were at. So when I said that nobody would see you, I guess that's wrong because people did see them. They're saying the two are acting like a couple.
Couple of what?
Couple sneaking around behind other people's backs.
Hey, they're both single now.
They're both single. They're single and
apparently not mingling.
Yeah, ready to live the life. I mean, they were engaged. This is back when I was on QLZ, back when I was doing the morning disaster, the first round of the morning disaster. I remember we made fun of Benifer
all the time.
And when they put that movie out, there was a movie that came out that they did that was horrible.
Geely.
Yeah, we ended up teasing them about mercilessly. So I mean, this is all around 2000. This is early 2000s, right? 2000
sounds about right. Yeah,
somewhere in there, 2000, 2002, 3, whatever. It says they split up 17 years ago, so I guess it's around 2004. But they were spotted.
2004.
Mm-hmm. They were spotted.
That's a different movie. That
was Jersey Girl.
No, it's a Bollywood movie. It doesn't even list Geely as a regular movie.
Really?
Hold on, or maybe I spelled it wrong.
Yeah, Gigli, I believe.
I forgot the other G.
Uh-huh.
Okay, 2003.
Yeah. And then he did Jersey Girl right after. So the story is they went to Montana together and hooked up again.
Good for them.
That doesn't mean they're together. It might have just meant they might have just hooked up for some sex or something.
Good for them.
You know what I mean?
Well, if you had a chance, wouldn't you hook up with Jennifer Lopez?
If you had a chance, would you hook up with Ben Affleck? Yes.
No, I'm married.
All right.
If I was
Hall
divorced,
pass.
if I was single,
you have a hall pass.
Oh yeah, I'd hook up with Jennifer
of course.
Lopez.
There you go. That's the implications right there.
She looks like she'd have.
I'd do a double three-way with him.
She looks like she'd have sex with me and not complain about it. You know.
I think she'd roll her eyes.
Yeah.
Fine.
But,
I guess.
And that's fine. But I just don't want to hear the complaining. You know. I don't want to hear how bad a time she's having.
You know. I think you'll get the hurry up motion.
She wouldn't tell you. She'd wait for it to go into the National Enquirer.
Yeah. I bet she'd do it and hate it. You know, probably not do it again.
Then you'd be worldwide famous for bad sex.
But she'd at least go through with it, you know, and pity me. and pity me afterwards, and then say something like, "Well, he tried really hard," you know. Like I don't think she would MF me.
He got an E for effort.
Yeah, I think she would say nice things. That's what I think. But at least hang out, you know. Which might have been what they were doing. They might have. Who says they're back together? You know, maybe they just hooked up, had a little fun. They wanted to go somewhere where nobody would see them, and somebody said, "Hey, we should go to Montana." And the other one said, "Oh, it's a good idea." I mean, they were engaged before. I got to be honest. I don't. Would you hook up with someone who was like an ex? You know what I mean?
I have.
Depends on the ex.
So you'd become single. You'd go back to the ex.
Depend on the ex. Not all breakups were bad. Some breakups were just not right for each other at the time.
No, I'm saying that I'd want to go forward. I mean, I didn't. Not all my breakups were bad. I had some good breakups, and you know,
if the sex was good,
and I think the world of the women. Just saying.
I'm just saying if the sex was good.
Hey, I'd want to find some new sex. Why go back to the I already climbed that mountain.
Vic, you've already ate half of the ass in Springfield. We know.
I've already eaten that ass. I found some fresh meat.
They might be into stuff they weren't into stuff before. You never know. You just gotta give it a shot.
Hook up with a newbie. Yeah, I bet Ben Affleck's getting a lot. I bet J-Lo is too. She just broke up with A-Rod. Now she's hooking up with Ben Affleck again. Oh, well. Not bad. TMZ says it saw them return to LA and they went straight to Jennifer Lopez's house. How about that? So TMZ is reporting on it, Nick. You know it's big. You know it's big if TMZ has it. They're reporting on the Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. I'll be damned. By the way, TMZ says that they didn't just rekindle this romance. They said it's been going on since February when Ben Affleck started flooding Jennifer Lopez with emails.
Sliding into her DMs.
Yeah. While she was filming a movie in the Dominican Republic. Wow. How about that? They said that Ben Affleck saw pictures of Jennifer Lopez in the Dominican Republic and he wrote her letters to tell her how beautiful she looked. How about that, right? She was still engaged to Alex Rodriguez at the time. Then they by the way, how does TMZ know this? I'm reading this, but how does TMZ know it? They said that she was writing him back, and then they would just send letters back and forth while she was filming in the Dominican Republic. And then she broke up with A-Rod. Very interesting. TMZ also says they have maintained a friendship since they broke up in 2004. How about that, right?
Keeping his options open.
Yeah. Way to go, Affleck. And Affleck's a big Boston fan. And A-Rod played for the Yankees. So if his letters sort of broke him up, he's probably pretty happy with himself right now. You know what I mean? He's probably like, yeah.
Fuck them Yankees.
I'll teach. How dare you be a Yankee?
Might have had something in the letters about it. How dare you date somebody from the Yankees? You went with somebody from the Red Sox.
I'm saying if Ben Affleck wrote letters to make Jennifer Lopez break up with Alex Rodriguez, I would think that's a pretty big coup. You know what I mean? That's a get, you know. Like me being a Cub fan.
Like, come on, baby, I was Batman. Do it for Batman.
If I did something that ruined like some kind of Cardinal player's life, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah. Then but this is all of a sudden they're also both in their 50s. Isn't this something? The biggest thing they're talking about in Hollywood are two people in their 50s. That's kind of cool. It doesn't happen very often. We don't usually talk. People usually turn 50 in Hollywood. You just,
forget about them.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you guys see what Jason did to the morning disaster photo?
No.
All right. With Sean
I think
Belair.
I just saw it like a few minutes ago.
Sean Belair, I'm going to share it with the screen. Sean Belair put up a photo of a classic morning disaster photo. All right. Jason took it. Jason tweaked it with his Photoshop. And there you have it. He's included Sandy Balint in the photo. That is fantastic. Oh my God. Yep.
Where do you get that best of CD?
It's when in 1996 or no, in 97. Let's see. I'm trying to remember the time because it's been so long. In 96, Tom Kushak had us meet with a photographer, and we got the first photos of Billy the Weather Babe with me and Rocky and Jimmy. And then Billy left the show. And we got Michelle to replace her. And then the photos, the first round, were so popular that Tom got the photographer to come back and take a photo with the whole show. And then we would go out to those autograph parties. And literally the sales office or the sales department sold morning disaster autograph parties where we would go to a location and listeners would show up and we would all autograph the photos and stuff. It was actually pretty successful, but it was nice for the station because the station made a ton of money from the businesses. They all bought advertising campaigns and they would buy the live broadcast where we would show up and sign the photos. For us, it was good because we would get there'd be a bunch of people that would show up and go, who's there? They go, oh, that's the morning disaster. And so it would raise our celebrity quotient, And it was a good deal for all of us. And that was back in like 97, 96. And so we put that photo out, and then Jason took it and photoshopped in Sandy. And the photo is it's just too good. It's too good to not like. Oh my God. Look at that. Fantastic. That is just amazing. Good job, Jason. Holy crap. Just fantastic. That photo made my day. Sandy Balint in the disaster promotional photo. That's fantastic. Did you hear about the Golden Globes?
They got canceled?
Well, they weren't canceled.
Or postponed or not. They're not showing it.
Yeah, NBC has canceled showing it. You know what I mean? Like they have the contract to air the broadcast, but they've canceled it. And Tom Cruise sent in his 3 Golden Globes award. He gave them back. Said he didn't want them anymore.
What was the reasoning for their canceling the coverage?
Because Hollywood Foreign Press won't allow any diverse representation. Like they won't hire any black people or, or any Latino people or anyone. I mean, there's no diverse representation in the Hollywood Foreign Press Association.
And it's been joked about for like a decade now.
Yeah, I mean,
you think they get their act together.
If I'm not mistaken, hasn't it been Ricky Gervais has been writing it for years?
Yes, and they're like, oh, he's making fun of us. It's okay. But
yeah,
there's hidden truth to it.
And they have said they have zero, by the way, they have 0 black members in the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. 0. And this says, by the way, NBC owns the rights to air everything, right?
Right.
And they've still paid for the rights, but they just said, we're not going to air it. So the Golden Globes could have an award show, but I don't know who would show up. I don't know who would show up if they're not going to be on TV. So, yeah. So, there is no Golden Globes in 2020. It's not like the Golden Globes can just go to somebody else and say, "Hey, do you want to air it?" No, it's NBC owns the rights and they're choosing not to show it. So, they're also not going to pay to have any kind of event. So, I don't know what the Hollywood Foreign Press is going to do. I guess there's not going to be any awards at all.
Wow.
Yeah. I say good for them. Being someone who is a minority, I'm going to tell you, there are just still people who are stuck in the past and refuse to see equality. You know what I mean? And if we're just going to allow those people to go about it as if it's normal, they're going to continue to feel that way. If you actually want to make some change, you've got to tell people it's wrong. That's what I noticed. That's what I noticed, years ago. You have to actually say something.
Then stand on it.
Yeah. I'm telling you, most of my life, I just took it. Even if people are joking about something, if it bugs you, you've got to say something. Like I've said something to friends of mine. I'll say, no, that bothers me. And then they'll stop. When they know that something's wrong, they'll stop. At least that's what I've noticed. You have to stand up and say something, you know. Now, granted, those are not my situation's not the same, but I'm saying it when somebody starts slamming my ethnicity and I find it not funny, I'll say something and they stop. You know. I mean, I don't know how many times I heard Marvin Ray, why don't Mexicans have barbecues? I don't know how many times I heard the beans falling through the whatchamacallit joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how many dozen times, but I got to give it to him. I told him once, that joke bothers me, rubs me the wrong way. He's never told it again. And that was back in the day. That was back around 2005. This was way, this is way before the woke culture hit. You know what I mean? He just, so usually when you tell somebody, they just stop. But you have to tell somebody. I think Tom Cruise sending back the awards they gave him is telling somebody. I mean, I know Scarlett Johansson and Mark Ruffalo have both said stuff before. And so there's a lot of people in Hollywood. Ricky Gervais would joke about it when hosting the show. So let's see. Let's see what the Hollywood Foreign Press is going to do. They did put out a statement saying, they put out a statement yesterday saying, we at the Hollywood Foreign Press Association are committed to transformational change, effective immediately. The board, in consultation with outside advisors, will oversee reforms and be accountable for that change. Among the immediate action items being implemented, we are hiring an independent expert in organizational diversity, equity, and inclusion to advise and guide us. Among other important tasks, this expert will audit our bylaws and membership requirements to help us guard against any exclusionary practices and achieve a more diverse membership. We are also mandating annual anti-racism and unconscious bias education and sexual harassment training for every member of the HFPA. Engaging in outreach with a specific focus on adding Black and other underrepresented professionals in our organization. Hiring a third-party independent law firm to review our policies, blah, blah, blah. But yet, I'm not seeing, we made a call to organizations and we now have some Black members. I'm not seeing, it seems like they hired a bunch of white law firms to tell them how to go about it. But yet, you know what I mean?
Make no effort to actually change anything.
Yeah.
To change the big picture.
You could change it very easily.
You can do stuff on the outside, but you need to change your membership.
Just call some Black people and invite them to be members. It's not a big thing.
I think they need Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
That way he can go up there and go, it's the MF and Golden Globe.
Well, I don't think Samuel L. Jackson's a foreign press. I mean, it's about the fact that these are Foreign Press Association. They don't have And there are black people who are in the foreign press, but they just don't include them in this organization. I think that's the complaint. I mean, they have given Golden Globes to black people. That's not the complaint. The complaint is the people who vote for the Golden Globes are not black. You know, there are plenty of black reporters all over the world. Just put a couple in your organization. That's a way you can start. You know, there are women that are foreign press people. Put one of them, you know, give one a position of authority. Let's do some. I don't think they've never had like a woman president or any of that stuff. They have no black people. They have 0 black members, no women in positions of power. I mean, there's a way to fix it. And it's more than just hiring a bunch of white law firms to come in and tell you, you know, to come in and tell you what you're supposed to do. So, oh well. Here's the things you could do if you want more energy. Do you guys have energy in the morning?
No.
Nick, do you work out in the morning?
No, I don't.
Okay. Do you want more energy in the morning? Here's some things you can do to give you more energy. All right. If you're feeling run down and tired lately, you aren't alone. Even when you get plenty of sleep, you still might wake up and feel sluggish. So here's what you could do. First thing in the morning, when you wake up, close your eyes and focus your breathing. No. Close your eyes, focus your breathing, and take 10 deep breaths. 1.
By 3, I'd be snoring.
I yawned. I literally yawned on my.
It would sound like I'm sighing. Because it's the next morning when I'm awake.
I just tried and I yawned on my second breath.
See? There it is.
I yawned again. These deep breaths just make me yawn. But they say that's a way to wake up and not feel sluggish. All right.
Bullshit.
It says, after you take your 10 deep breaths, drink a big glass of water. Even if you're not thirsty. But get a big glass of water. What's that going to do?
It's going to get your metabolism going.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I drink water during the show now. Since I stopped drinking coffee, I drink the water every day. It gets me going. Exercise. It's hard to find the motivation to work out in the morning, but people who find time to work out in the morning tend to be more active throughout the day. Working out in the morning only leads to good things.
I do work out. I walk from my bed at home to my bathroom, or I walk from the truck when I'm at work to the bathroom.
Yeah, I don't know. I do the show
I mean, how early in the morning are we saying? Because I go for a walk at 10 on one of my breaks.
Right after the show, right? I was going to
Yeah.
say that. Right after the show, I do my workout. I go to the Fit Club.
Yeah, so
I, I'm not going to. And somebody did tell me the other day, they go, well, you should work out before your show.
Your trainer's not there.
I said, are you fucking crazy? No, I'm not going to go work out before my show.
I mean, once it starts getting warmer out in the morning, I'm going to go for a walk in the morning, but I'm waiting for the weather to get better.
By the way, I would love, because I used to wake up super early. Back when I was doing this on the actual radio.
Yeah.
I had to get up so early. I hated it. Now we start the show at 8 a.m. So I get to wake up a little later. So someone did bring up to me, they said, well, why not wake up the time you used to wake up when you were doing it on the radio and go work out? They said, if you get to the Fit Club like 6:30, you could get a cardiovascular workout in before you even start the show. Which they were correct.
How many expletives did you say following that?
They were correct, but there's no way. I just not something I want to do. Now those deep breaths have me yawning. Yeah, that's just not something I want to do. I don't want to go. I don't want to go work out at 6:30 in the morning. I'd rather cut off a toe. But it would be nice. It would be nice to do that, I think that would be something to try. I don't see me ever doing it, but it would be nice to try it, I don't think it's going to happen.
That would require you to get out of bed early.
Well, yeah.
You've already said no.
And go to bed early.
Oh, yeah.
It would require me to go to bed early. I'm not going to bed early.
You'd be missing some baseball at that point and basketball.
Yeah.
I need to go to bed early.
Yeah. I wish I
sleep.
I wish I could go to bed early. But here's the deal. In my house, okay, my wife is she's always complaining how we get to bed late. And so I'm always saying, let's get to bed early. I figure right around 10 o'clock is the time to start wrapping it up, Like, for example, last night we were watching that Jupiter's Legacy.
Yeah.
And we got done with episode 7 at 10 o'clock. Okay? At 10 o'clock, we got done.
All right.
And we could have watched episode 8 and wrapped up the series. But I knew my wife had said, she goes, I've got to wake up early tomorrow. Got to wake up early. So I got to get to bed early. I'm like, let's do it. So right at 10, I went to our bedroom and turned on some TV in the bedroom to wait for her to get in there, take a bath so we can go to bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she was nowhere to be found. She was instead in my daughter's bedroom hanging out with her, talking to her. You know what I mean? And then it's 11. It's 11:30. I'm like, Jesus, what the hell time is she? You know, when is she coming to bed? Then I'm laying in bed, right? And I'm like, or I fell asleep because I put on the WWE network and I was watching some kind of wrestling. And so I'm in bed like, I'm sleeping. And all of a sudden I'm like, what is that? Is that bacon? What it? And I start smelling bacon. This is like 11:30. 11:30 at night. I'm smelling bacon. And then like a half hour later, my wife comes to the bedroom. It's after midnight. And I go, I thought you said you had to go to bed early. She goes, I do. And I go, do you mean you got to go to bed early in the morning? It's after midnight. And I said, and I smelled bacon. She goes, oh, well, Bella was hungry. Our 19-year-old daughter, who knows how to make bacon, by the way. Our daughter's made bacon and for me before, and it's amazing. She makes amazing bacon. But my wife says, oh, well, she was hungry, so I made some bacon for her. And I'm like, at 11:30 at night? You couldn't have made this for her like at 9? She goes, oh, well, that's when she got hungry. And I'm like, I think it's wonderful that she offered to cook for her daughter, at that time. However, I gotta be honest. And credit to my wife. She got up this morning. She was exhausted. She was tired as hell. But she wasn't complaining about it. You know what I mean? She wasn't complaining about being up so late. But that was the problem. As she was walking around here yawning, you're up too late making bacon. She didn't get to. It was 1:00 before she fell asleep. And I know because I was staying awake. I wanted to be decent, I didn't want to be sleeping when she came to bed, So I didn't get to bed till after 1:00 also. My wife is awesome. She is awesome. She's a great mother. But I'm like,
great person all the way around.
Yeah, but I think maybe she could tell my daughter, that's cool if you get hungry at night, but maybe you should keep it to around 9:00, waking up at 11:30 and deciding you want bacon is killing this woman, I just think it's a little late, but that's just me. What do I know? I just see her tired and walking around exhausted and then she'll be exhausted tonight. Walking around wanting to get to bed at, she'll want to fall asleep by 10, but it'll be 1:00 before, Yeah. And I'm saying my daughter can make the hell out of bacon. I'm just laying out the facts. Make sure you're eating enough. A breakfast that's high in protein and healthy fats can help maintain energy levels throughout the day. Don't eat too much sugar because too much in the morning can cause a crash later on. So a big protein breakfast is good to give you that energy. Have some good eggs.
Chorizo.
Baked chorizo's great.
Yes.
Sausage. Perhaps some Vic sausage.
I'm saying, as long as it's not Vicks.
Yeah.
We know what he does with that sausage. He'll get the sausage with botulism and put it out there to cleanse people's colons.
I love my sausage. And then the other piece of advice for getting energy in the morning, ignore your phone. When you check your phone or email first thing, you're letting someone else dictate the start of your day. And boundaries are important. So ignore your phone. That's the advice. This article says ignore your phone.
The advice is telling me is dictating what I do in the morning.
Well,
yes.
I gotta be honest. This one's right on.
Well, if I ignore my phone first thing in the morning, then I would miss the show.
I'm telling you. When I wake up in the morning, as soon as the alarm goes off, I start looking at that phone. I look at the phone and I start checking the Facebook and the Twitter and emails and everything. Next thing you know, it's 20 minutes and I'm still not even dressed or anything. So my day starts late. So I've had to make it a point to just say, I'm not going to look at the phone. I'm not going to look at the phone until I get out to the studio. You know what I mean? That's when I'll look at the phone. Like I'll literally make sure until I'll make sure I'm dressed and sitting in front of my microphone. That's when I'll finally look. Because if I just start looking at the phone in bed, literally, I'm just laying in bed for 25 minutes. I'll accomplish nothing. So this one has something to it. But those are tips to give you more energy in the morning. Take them or leave them. But that's what these 5 things are what you could do every day to give yourself more energy. Take 10 breaths. I can't take 10 breaths without yawning. Hydrate. Except when I drink too much water, literally the minute the show ends, the first thing I'm doing is running to the bathroom,
Yeah, because then you got to pee.
To drain the main vein. Exercising. You got to eat enough. And ignore your phone right when you first wake up. Those are your tips. You're welcome, everybody. Those are your tips. The cicadas are coming.
I thought they're not going to be in Illinois, though.
I have no idea.
I think they're going to be in like Indiana, and they're not going to reach Illinois.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where do they? So they come.
We're going to hear them, but they won't be. They'll be far away.
Like every 17 years, there is a cicada boom. All right. Cicadas hit the eastern side of the United States every 17 years. They are predicting. Do you want to know how many? Do you want to know how many cicadas they're predicting this year? Any idea how many cicadas they're predicting?
The Brood X cicadas.
Any idea what the number is?
5 billion.
No. That's low. That's low.
15 billion.
That's low. That's low.
5 trillion.
Now you're getting there.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. They're saying trillions of cicadas are about to rise up from the ground and swarm the eastern part of the United States.
Your children.
And so you're saying that the experts have said that there's not going to be any in Illinois?
There shouldn't be. Indiana's going to be covered.
Thank God. Well, they deserve
so that sound will travel.
Experts are saying one of the things we can do with these trillions of cicadas is eat them.
No, thank you. No, thanks.
I'm just saying.
No, thanks.
Experts are saying if we would eat the cicadas, that's one of the ways to get rid of them and to help people, you know.
I'd rather set a forest fire.
We take the cicadas and we turn them into food. That's what we could do. We could turn them into protein-based food. So they put that out there, right? How many Americans said they would be willing to give cicada-based food a shot?
23.
You're saying 23 total Americans?
Oh, no, 23%.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying 23 total.
I would say 23 total, too. What's the hell? Why not?
No, you're closer to 23%. It's 25% of Americans said they would be willing to give it a shot.
I hate 25% of America.
Yeah. There you go. They pulled 35,000 Americans. 25% of them said they'd give cicada-based food a shot. That includes 9% who said they are very, very willing to do it. 13% said, yeah, they'd try it, but they weren't excited about it. And by the way, 1 in 50 Americans have said they've already eaten cicadas. Where the hell would you eat a cicada?
New York.
I mean, you know, cicadas.
It's going to be on Arby's menus at some point in time, so don't worry about it.
Cicadas, they only show up every 17 years, right?
Taco Bell will come up with some sort of chalupa for it.
They're not here. Are they here every year?
It sounds like they're here every year, but I don't know.
We just get the big cicada boom every 17 years.
Yes.
From when they are done hibernating or whatever.
They hide in the ground.
By the way, this also started a bigger conversation about insect-based food. 28% of people said they'd be up for trying insect-based food.
Of course they would.
And Over 30% of Americans say that insects as food will become a bigger trend in the coming years here in the United States. So insects as food is coming. It's probably going to take the place of some kind of meat. There you go, TJ. You'll be pulling over on the side of the road and ordering yourself up a big insect burger.
Yeah, let me know when anybody wants to know how to hunt.
Well, they're saying hopefully that stuff's going to end, that hunting.
No.
They're saying people are going to start eating some insects.
No.
To get their protein.
No.
Ain't going to be no more hunting.
No.
Yep.
There will still be plenty of hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll just get the idiots out of the woods and teach them how, let the people who actually know what they're doing be there.
Get myself some insect tacos.
Enjoy.
That sounds good.
I'll make one out of a squirrel.
Insect tacos and how about some insect burritos?
I'll have some hot and pepper and egg.
There you go. Some people say that insects will replace meat.
No.
They're saying hunting will be disallowed. Hunting will be outlawed.
That's a lie.
They'll say especially hunting with a bow.
That's a full lie.
Saying hunting with a bow will be outlawed.
No.
As will bragging about hunting.
They disallow hunting with a bow. I start eating people.
They're gonna outlaw bragging about hunting with a bow.
They get rid of bow hunting. I start eating people.
Unbelievable.
It is weird.
I just want to point out if TJ was in his studio instead of his truck, he'd be holding up that fucking bow right now. and talking about how delicious squirrel meat is.
Not as good as
I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Anyone who has witnessed a show when TJ's at his studio, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He'd be bragging about that bow.
It was off a little bit, so it's back in at the top.
He'd be holding that bow up and talking about how delicious squirrel is.
Last time I shot, it was off by 1/16 of an inch of where I want to hit, so it went back into the top.
Good old Robin Hood. All excited to eat himself a raccoon that he shot.
No. Raccoon is greasy meat. I've told you that. However, is good.
I can't believe you eat squirrel. I mean,
squirrel's a good meat.
That's like eating a cat or a dog. I'm serious.
I've ate cat and dog before too.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Where would you eat a pet?
Well, I had the dog in Korea.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Because it is a delicacy there.
Unbelievable. I'll see squirrels in the yard. They're the sweetest animals. They really are. They're just a sweet animal. Like when I lived in Chatham, I would go somewhere with my daughter. I'd come home and my daughter would get out of the cars and she'd get out of the car and she'd, and hold her hands, and a squirrel would come to her like a dog. It was like a little pets. I can't fathom shooting it with a bow and arrow and eating it. It just seems so, But then again,
have respect for the ecosystem at the same time. You know, wildlife is great. I love watching the wildlife, but I also like eating it.
Of course, you also would kill a squirrel, a rabbit too.
Yes, I would.
Rabbits are pets.
House pepper.
I mean, I guess we don't keep squirrels as pets because at some point they're wild. I don't know. Like they won't domesticate like cats or whatever.
No.
But I'm saying the little squirrels that would come see my daughter seem very domesticated.
Chipmunks are easy to domesticate. And they're actually pretty cool. They're fun to have around.
Wow.
Ducks are some of the most majestic birds you've ever seen, and they taste great.
For heaven's sakes.
I've got respect for the ecosystem, but at the same time, I know that what I do assists in population control so they don't overrun.
Why don't you go try to shoot some cicadas? You with your bow and arrow go hunting for cicadas.
That'd be a pretty tough target.
Yeah.
Probably splatter in half by the time the arrow hits it.
You could fry up that cicada.
Whatever I kill, I'd take the nick so he'd have food.
Put a piece of cheese on it. Put a piece of cheese on it. Yeah. I'll fry it up. Put some cheese. A little bacon. I'm going to wrap bacon around that squirrel. Grill it.
That's actually good.
Not around the squirrel, but around the cicada. I'll wrap some bacon around that cicada. It'll be the best tasting cicada ever.
Have fun.
Anyway, there are trillions of cicadas that are about to infest the world or the United States. That's crazy. There's trillions of them. I had no idea. I knew there was a lot, but trillions? I mean, how would you even count that many? Wow. By the way, they asked people with this whole pandemic, what parts of life are never going to go back? Like what parts of life are never going to go back to normal? They asked people, and they came up with a list. Are you ready for this?
No.
They asked people what will never be the same even when the pandemic's over. Here's what they said. Sitting in a doctor's office waiting room when you're sick. Oh, I think
that could be a positive.
I think that's done. Yeah. I think that's done.
It's not going to happen as often.
But then again, I had to go for a sleep test, or I had to pick up a sleep test. They had me go pick it up, and I just thought, this is so fucking. Why am I showing up to go pick up a sleep test? Can't it just be delivered, or can it be a curbside delivery thing? You know, because
mine was curbside.
I go into this room, a waiting room, to pick it up, and there's a bunch of assholes coughing, and I'm just like, this is like a God knows what kind of COVID infestation is in here. It felt like I was patient zero, you know, or sitting by patient zero. And I kept moving because number one, I couldn't believe I was in there. Number two, I was afraid that, you know, I was afraid somebody would make me sick. Thankfully, I didn't catch anything, but I can see that. Number 2, dragging yourself to work when you're sick. Yeah, I think that's over too.
Well, depends on the job.
I got to tell you, I was horrible. I really was. I was horrible at this. When I would get sick, I would get sick and I would go to work because in my mind, they couldn't do it without me. You know what I mean?
The only way you took a sick day, we're all asking, is Ray dying? Somebody call the hospital.
I know, but I wish to God, I would not have done that. I should have just taken a sick day.
What I do now, that's a luxury.
Yeah. I'm never going to have another job. But if I did have another job, I would definitely use sick days. This article says sick days are done. Number 3, shopping for groceries in person.
Yeah, I hate doing that anyway.
Yeah. I think ordering your groceries and picking them up is the way to go.
I'm afraid that if I go into the grocery store or something and I'm trying to get food, there's an off chance that I might run into the phantom shitter. I just don't want to go.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't want to go shopping for stuff in person. My wife goes every day. Every day she goes to this. Every fucking day.
Well, maybe it's part of how she relaxes after work.
I think it is. I think it is, but I do find that sort of crazy, you know. Number 4, eating at buffets is done. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think you're going to see the golden. Will we see Golden Corrals reopen?
I think they'll try it.
I think they're done. And to be honest, I think America's probably better off because of it.
I think the Chinese buffets are going.
We'll be fine. We will be fine if the Golden Corrals locations like that never open again. We'll be fine.
Oh, if Golden Corral never opens again?
Yeah, we'll be.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
It won't be a big.
No.
Golden Corral never opens again. Hillbilly Joe will never go out to eat.
Stice is in the chat room saying that Golden Corral's already planning on reopening. I'm just saying, it's not going to be the same. You could forget about me ever entering a Golden Corral.
You wouldn't go anyway. Now, if we said Alexander's Steakhouse, you'd be all over that.
I find the food at Golden Corral tasteless.
Yeah, it's not good.
I find it tasteless.
Even before the pandemic, I couldn't remember the last time I went to a Golden Corral.
Yeah, I went once. It was tasteless. I went because my uncle had the contract to fix them up. Like his companies had to go do the work on them. So I went to a Golden Corral once with him to go check it out. I thought the food was tasteless. It just didn't have any flavor. It was flavorless. Number 5, snow days.
Yeah,
No days are done.
with online learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to make the kids, they'll just say, all right, tomorrow's there's
Online
snow
learning
coming,
day.
so tomorrow's an online day. Yeah. So no more days off. You'd have to, this just means that you're going to have to do school from home. Yeah. Yeah, there shouldn't be a day of, of no school. They can now do, they have learned how to do, they've learned how to do school from home. In fact, I got to be honest, I think that's going to jack with the school days. I think you're going to find places where kids only go to school 4 days a week. That fifth day will be like a day of home learning or whatever, the way they do this, online stuff.
There goes those time-honored traditions. Like I remember when I was, junior high and high school, listening to the Lytle and Lamb show for the school announcements and not being able to go to school.
Yeah. I'm telling you, there'll be virtual days. And I think it's not even going to be snow days. I think they'll just plan on, I think when they make the actual calendar, they'll say virtual days. Like when I was a kid, when I went to school, we didn't have air conditioning in the school. Did you guys have air conditioning in your schools?
Nope, barely.
We had no air conditioning.
Only when they added a new wing onto it.
Yeah.
That section would have air conditioning.
So
they had us open the windows.
Yeah. It was horrible. Those should have been virtual days. They should have had, when they made the calendars, they could have said, all right, next week's going to be the hundreds. We'll virtual week. Teachers and students will be ready on that notice to go virtual instead of actually showing up. I really think that's the norm. That's going to be the future. Boundaries between work or school and home. I have no idea what that means.
It's going to skew the line. Like, when you go to work, you're at work. When you go home, you're at home. And it's going to kind of blur the line going, oh, wait a minute. Well, you can still work from home, fucker. You're going to do this anyway.
Listen, I'd love to work the rest of my life from home. I don't want to go anywhere to work. Works for suckers. Works for suckers. Getting the job is for pussies.
Here we go again.
Jobs are for pussies. No,
Nick and I both worked all the way through the pandemic.
Jobs are for pussies.
I was furloughed for a couple months, but yeah, I still worked.
I don't need a job. I don't need no job. By the way, I'm sick of hearing everybody talking about how if you don't have a job, you just don't want one. That's bullshit. That's offensive. Stop repeating that Trump fan bullshit. Stop repeating that bullshit. That's not true. I see that on people's Facebook. They'll put up pictures and, they'll put stuff like, if you're still getting unemployment, you're just a piece of shit. Nothing makes me more angry than that. It really gets me. It just makes me crazy. And here's the bottom line, people. I went to college and was skilled in a certain field, okay? I went to college and learned a field, got into the profession and worked in the profession for over 30 years. 30 years. I went to school, learned how to do this. I was in the business for 30 years. I have had nothing but success in the business for 30 plus years. As soon as they had a chance to fuck me over and get rid of me, whoosh, they did it. They shit on Ray Lytle like that. So, according to your Facebook post, I'm supposed to learn a new skill. I'm supposed to learn a new skill like this and just get another job. That's bullshit. And it's offensive. It's offensive when you guys put out there, if you don't want it, the only reason you don't have a job is you don't want a job. Well, fuck you. Fuck you if you think I'm going to go work at a goddamn Dunkin' Donuts or a McDonald's. I've literally put in over 30 years in my field of success. In fact, doing what I did and got paid for, I'm doing now, and people will still come listen to me every day. Every day. I think I'm pretty good at it. I think I'm pretty good at doing a radio show. Maybe by saying that, it just makes me a conceited asshole. But I think I'm pretty good at it. And I think if you go around Springfield and you talk to people over 35 and you give my name, they'll at least know who I am. Where if you ask them to name someone current doing it, they won't even know their fucking names. That has to stand for something. I mean, that means something. So to tell me that I'm a piece of garbage because I don't have a job is just wrong. It's wrong, and it shows that you're a fucking asshole when you put something like that on social media. Because I am certainly not the only person in this situation. I learned a skill. I was the top of my class in this skill. I actually had a college radio show that had success. A college radio station that people actually listened to. I got my first full-time job in a top 100 market. I wasn't even old enough to drink yet. I was hosting a morning show in Youngstown, Ohio. And then I just won. I won there. I won in Texas. I won in Peoria. I won in New York, and I won in Springfield. I worked my ass off at my chosen profession. And then it just so happened that my chosen profession said, oh, well, he's had success for 30 years. Well, fuck him. Fuck him. Fire him. Fire him. Is that my fault? No. I mean, personally, I think it's because the chosen field did not know how to handle the internet. That's what I think. But still, there's a lot of people like me. There's a lot of people like me who whatever. It just happened they chose the wrong profession. And so now there's some sort of transition. It's not like the government is, which is what they should do, by the way. They should handle training for whatever my next position is going to be. You know, it just rubs me the wrong way when people are like, they're looking for people down at Burger King or McDonald's. You people are just lazy. If you think I'm going to, at 53 or however the fuck I old, you think I'm going to go, start working at a McDonald's? You're out of your goddamn mind. If you think McDonald's is going to hire me, you're out of your goddamn mind. McDonald's doesn't want me. They want some 18-year-old kid that can move fast. They don't want slow me limping around. I can't even walk. It's really offensive. It's very offensive when you put on your Facebook page, only people who don't have a job are people who don't want a job. No, fuck you. There just isn't jobs for everyone. It just, and I hate that fucking attitude. I mean, who the hell do you think you are? And by the way, how about putting it on the businesses as well, right? How about putting it on them instead of just putting it on the people who lost their jobs? How about these businesses start paying people some fucking money?
Yep.
Do you want to know who does it? This is honest to God true. Do you want to know who doesn't have employment problems right now? Companies that pay people a fucking living wage. The companies who pay people a decent wage, they're getting the people to come work for them. It's these companies who don't want to pay shit. It's the same companies that are bitching because, oh, they're raising the minimum wage. No, those companies that are already paying higher than minimum wage, they're not having their problems. So I read those Facebook posts, they infuriate me. They make me furious. Because there's so much more than just, it's so much more than laziness why someone doesn't have a job. There's a lot of things that go into it. And that just pisses me off. If you don't have a job, it's because you don't want one. Fuck you. I want a job. I wanted to work in an industry that didn't fuck me over the first chance they got. I wanted to work in an industry that actually said, oh, this person worked his ass off in our industry. Let's make sure to give him something to do. Make sure that he's covered. No. They didn't cover me. They fucked me right out of there. So please take a second to consider that there are people just like me who've lost their jobs. And fuck you if your attitude is I'm lazy. Fuck off. End of rant. End of rant. You know what I'm talking about, though, right, Nick? You've seen it.
Yeah.
These people get on there and...
Well, that's why I don't go to Facebook that often anymore.
I like to
it's a terrible place.
I like to go and I like to judge. And I like to see just who thinks of what. And then I make note of, all right, well, this is how this person thinks. Now I'm on to them. Now I know what this person's about. I'm all for it. Just like, you know, like I'm seeing a person, they're putting stuff like, they're putting signs in windows at fast food restaurants saying, we are closed because no one wants our jobs. Have you seen that? They'll put the signs up of, due to no staff, we are closed today. You know what? If you're a restaurant and you're closed, it's because you're not paying people that work for you enough money. That's why you don't have the staff. You don't have staff because you're too fucking cheap. You're underpaying people to work for you. That's why you don't have staff.
Or the way you run your store is so bad that no one wants to stick by you and work for you.
Yeah.
There's some people who will work for low wages, but will respect you and
by the way,
will march with you into whatever trouble you're having, as long as you're running your business correctly.
I worked for a low wage in radio. Like I had a good wage in the 90s and 2000s. Somehow this last go around, I was making an hourly wage. And the worst part was they acted like it was such a chore to pay me anything. But yet you were paying, how many fucking salespeople, $40,000 a year? You had how many salespeople? And yet you couldn't, I'll just use radio as one example because that's the business I was in. And then you basically blame, and it wasn't just the place that I was working for. I think they were all over. They just decided to cut your on-air talent. And then they're angry because they have less listeners. Well, let me see all your customers. Here's the problem with radio. You consider your customers the people who buy advertising. You should consider your customers the people who listen to your radio stations.
I go out and support the people who bought the advertising.
Because I'll tell you something. You want to know who I consider my customers? My listeners. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Recon Techs. I love it. They're great guys. I love Hendricks Home Furnishings. The Short Drive to Verdun, love it. I love Head West. Okay, my customers are my listeners. Every one of those listeners who will go to those locations because they heard about them on my show. It's every one of my customers who will go get their cars detailed from Recon because I've told them about it. Those are my customers. It's not the advertisers. So when radio stations started cutting the on-air people, you cut the link to your customers, the people who knew your radio stations because of whatever DJ or whatever radio personality. When you fired that person and they're no longer on your radio station, of course you've lost those people because you've lost their connection to your station. You've lost their link to it. And some people like me, I had not just listeners, but I had advertisers who were friends of mine that were part of my family. Of course, they were going to drop your station like a lead balloon. when you fired me. I'm telling you. I'm just using radio as an example. There's several businesses just like it. Several businesses just like radio who went about things the wrong way. Fired the wrong, but pay the fucking general managers more. Pay the people running the places, making these decisions, pay them more. I'm sure they got fucking raises. Just like you hear these corporations paying these CEOs all these money. It's unbelievable. It really is. It's unbelievable. Oh, well. And radio's just one of them. But that's all right. Facebook and the people posting, they'll put it all down to every single person who was fired being fucking lazy. Take your laziness and shove it right up your ass. And put your stupid, bigoted post. Which, by the way, you're just a tool for the Republican Party because that's exactly the way they want you to think. So congratulations. Congratulations. Oh, we got to wrap it up. I just looked at the time. I gotta go work out. But good show. Thank you for being part of it. And we'll return tomorrow with another show. That's it for Ray Lyle's Morning Disaster. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll see you later.